My wife Samina and I are going on a trip lasting several days today. We are driving from Abu Dhabi to the province of Musandam, around 350 kilometers away, in the northernmost corner of the Sultanate of Oman. The car journey takes us along the Abu Dhabi motorway past Dubai to the easternmost corner of the United Arab Emirates. From there the road leads along the coast to the very north of Oman, to the Musandam region. The road then continues along the coast. We are now 300 kilometers or 4 hours drive from Abu Dhabi. There are beautiful sandy beaches along this coastal road, but they are very remote, which is why only travelers like us take a short break here. Moreover, it is already very hot in May. It can get to 34 to 40 degrees Celsius down here on the coast during the day. We now drive along the coastal road to our hotel near the port town of Qasim. The hotel is currently the only one in this remote area. Such old fortified castles are often found at strategic points in Oman. They have been lavishly restored and testified to the defensive capabilities of the Omanis throughout their history. Musandam is the southern part of a very rough, rocky peninsula on the Strait of Hormuz, and belongs to the Sultanate of Oman. Since this small passage of the Strait of Hormuz leads to the richest oil sources in the world, into the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz is of great geopolitical and strategic importance for international shipping. The coastal waters of Oman are very rich in fish, and to keep it that way, only locals are allowed to fish commercially. We will soon see a bay with many modern motorized fishing boats. The traditional old wooden boats that are kept here, and were rowed and sailed back then, are relics from old times and, as it seems, only have sentimental value. A short time later we reach our hotel, the amenities of which we particularly enjoy after this long drive.
What's your size? Jij moet deze hebben. Moet je even met je rosé meelopen? Ja, hè? Wil je de wheel movie, ja. Hier.
Hier niet hier.
Anak ko lagi ako.
Da sind wir. Und dann fahren wir so zwischen den Inseln.
We will now sail for about an hour to about the middle of this long fjord, to Telegraph Island. We can already see Telegraph Island ahead of us. Around 1840, this island, which is still called that today, was a relay station for the first 8,000 kilometers long intercontinental cable connection between England and India. Due to the inadequate electrical quality of this approximately heavy 55 mm thick submarine cable, a better cable was laid on a new route towards India just 10 years later, and this relay station, of which only the foundations remain, was abandoned. Today this remote island is an anchorage for the excursion boats that come here to offer their guests a good place to swim. Probably unnoticed by most tourists, a patrol boat from the Omani Coast Guard is also anchored nearby for our protection. After a good hour of bathing fun here on Telegraph Island, the anchor is raised and we head back to KSAP. A little tired from the summer heat and above all hungry, our eventful bathing trip comes to an end. Now we are looking forward to our hotel and a good dinner. Today we are going on a tour into the hinterland of Musandam and first drive up a remote hill, a viewpoint that is quite well known here. Looking back, We first look down at the plain from which we came. In the other direction lies the fjord, but unfortunately the visibility is very hazy this morning, so our hope for a beautiful view over the fjord will not happen today, and driving steep down to the beach makes no sense. With a nice photo from our travel guide as a compensation for the missed good view, we continue straight on to our today's destination, a high flat area with some grassland, where we want to camp. On the way there we pass the so-called acacia forest. It is of course not a forest, but when you know that in this area hardly more than 2 trees grow together anywhere, then you can somehow understand the term acacia forest. Acacia trees are particularly resistant to drought and often grow in such dry, barren regions. These trees are very mighty and certainly very old. Their prickly crowns offer green treats, especially to the 4-legged creatures that bleat around here. It is already afternoon, and the daytime temperatures have now reached their peak of 42 degrees Celsius. It is time for us to drive up to the plateau, which is at 1,600 meters, and where it will be considerably cooler due to the altitude. The road now leads up quite steeply. The rocky landscape is impressive but gives us a hostile impression. At around 1,000 meter altitude we see patches of very limited agriculture, which has certainly been used to grow wheat since Methuselah's time. If someone comes across a car which has stopped alongside the road, it is advisable to stop and ask if everything is okay, an etiquette that has its practical value in this remote area and which we quickly learn from the locals. You exchange a few friendly words and ask if the other person needs help.
Yeah. Good, thank you, bye.
It takes quite a while until we reach the top, and the plateau is finally in front of our eyes. From up here we have a beautiful view of the well-hidden plateau, which is considered an insider tip for camping and enables modest agriculture for the locals in the winter months. But before we put up our tent down there, we want to go all the way up to have a look over the mountains. After the magnificent view over the mountains and the rugged valleys, we put up our tent here on the plateau because we want to spend our last night in Musandam here. We have brought comfortable camp beds with us so that we can sleep like we are in Abraham's lap tonight. Here at an altitude of around 1,600 meters it is almost 10 degrees cooler than the great heat down on the coast, which we find very pleasant here. Later, when we reflect on our journey around the campfire, we come to the conclusion that Musandam gives the traveler the feeling of entering a world quite away from modern life. It is a region for adventurers and nature lovers who appreciate the untouched and quiet nature of this area.